Hello everybody, this is AW Logue here again, and today I'm doing a about 2,000 round checkup on my DSG build, and this is the one I uploaded a testing video on earlier, and I have since installed the Zartachar links-based MOSFET, and that's just about it. So, first I'm just going to give you a general overview of the components. So the thing that makes this unique among DSGs, or more unique rather, is the piston. And as you can see, this is a shorter piston. Get a normal piston for comparison. But you can see it's significantly shorter. So, and the reason I did that was because this DSG uses a compact light piston modification in which the piston itself sits farther back in the cylinder. So instead of using this front half of the cylinder for compression, it uses the back half of the cylinder and draws back from 0.5 to 1 and then back again. Just keeps doing that instead of going from 0 to 0.5 like in a normal DSG. One of the advantages of this method is that you can use really short but strong springs. This is a M190 spring that has been essentially cut in half, and as you can see, it doesn't fill up a lot of the gearbox, and because of that I get a really easy installation. See if I can show you here really quickly. It's really easy to install, and it also likes to stay in place on its own, like so. So that is the most special thing about this DSG. So next thing, the gears. I have a Generation 1 Siege Tech DSG. It's the 8-tooth, a Kaima bevel, and a G&G spur or step gear. Those seem to be holding up perfectly after 2,000 rounds. I see no excess wear, but I do need to lubricate them a little bit more. Let's see. The air nozzle is a Core double O-ring air nozzle. With both O-rings on, it functions perfectly. I haven't had any problems with any Core nozzles. I've installed 3 of them. This one in a friend's M4 battle rifle, and the other one in my field primary, which is an AK-74. This is a ZCI quote-unquote integration cylinder head, and it seals very, very well with this nozzle. Not too much resistance as long as you keep it lubricated, and etc. And then this is just the stock tappet plate. Kaima makes some pretty good tappet plates. I've liked them for all the ones I've used. And one thing about the tappet plate is that, like with most techs or high-speed builders, anyone like that, this is a very short tappet spring. Let's see if I can get this to focus any better. Probably, there we go. It's a short tappet spring, and that allows a faster return of the tappet plate, giving better consistency from shot to shot and higher FPS on fully automatic. So those are the main parts of the DSG. I just have the stock trigger contacts and trigger assembly in here, as well as anti-reversal latch. So nothing too big there. The motor I'm using is a ZCI 16 TPA. It's labeled as a couple different things. I think Brill Armory labels it as the balanced motor, while Clandestine Airsoft calls it the high speed. Even though most ACM high speed motors are around 14 TPA. This one is 16, so it's perfect for a good high ratio DSG build like the 18:1 gears I have in here. So another thing about this piston that you may have noticed is that the back teeth, focus for me here, yep, the back teeth are basically one solid piece. Come on. Well, whatever. The back teeth are one solid piece. And that was in part due to Hunter Seeker 5. He developed a Shapeways 3D printed insert that you glue onto the last couple teeth of your shortened piston to make a stronger pickup tooth and a taller pickup tooth as well, so that your gears don't wear down and all kinds of fun things like that. And just for reference, this is a G&P palm piston, 5 metal teeth, and this is a Super Shooter palm piston head with enlarged ports. And I did that just to give as much return air as possible when it's coming through the backstroke. Compression is great in between the piston and the cylinder, and then this entire area is filled with RTV silicone around the cylinder spacer and piston head, or sorry, cylinder head. So there's 100% air seal there, and then the nozzle doesn't leak at all in the forward position when I'm pressing it forward. So I think that's just about it in terms of internal parts. Just for reference, this is a Kaima O2C gearbox shell with ZCI 7mm bushings. Alright, here we are again. I just reassembled the entire gearbox after lubricating the gears a little bit more and also changing the pinion on the motor from the ZCI to the Kaima, the one that came on the stock motor, because I'm trying to get this a little bit quieter. Sounded a little whiny between the bevel and the pinion, so I'm trying to see if the stock bevel, or stock pinion, I apologize, is any quieter than the ZCI. So here's it on semi, and this is using a 7.4 volt battery rated for 55 amps continuous discharge. It's a pretty quick response, and on automatic. Again, that's still pretty fast, even on a 7.4. So I might mess around with the shimming a little bit on the bevel gear just to see if I can get it any quieter. Otherwise, meshing is great between all the gears. So up next is a Chrono. And before I forget, some of you are probably wondering why there's a bolt sticking out of the back of the gearbox here. That's because I'm using a version 2 spring guide. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier in another video or not, but I did not have a version 3 guide, and not wanting to spend another $10 to get a new guide, I just used the version 2 I had, drilled a hole in the back of the gearbox, and I'm using some random screw that threaded into the spring guide perfectly, and that's holding up very well. Alright, so next up is chronograph. Alright, now it's time to chrono my AK. I have it running on a 77 amp discharge 11.1. Let's see what I get. Alright, 301. 304, 307, 309,